monastery not so far from here in Piumarola, about 14 kilometers from Cassino. She lived there with the Benedictine nuns. St. Benedict lived here with the monks, and they used to meet just once a year in a little chapel that was situated half-road between the two monasteries. But later I'll give you some more information about Saint Scholastica. Coming back to St. Benedict, when he was 12 years old, he was sent from Noccia to Rome to continue with his studies. But after not so long, he was kind of disturbed by the lifestyle of the Romans of that time. So he decided to move to Subiaco in the south of Rome, where he actually spent most of his life, 30 years, during which he started to build the first 12 monasteries, where the monks could live all together. And he spent 3 of those 30 years living as an hermit in the famous Sacro Specchio, which is a cave carved into the mountain, where you actually can still find the monastery dedicated to St. Benedict. In 529, he moved here to Monte Cassino, where he found the remains of an ancient Roman acropolis. And also in the garden that you can see behind my back, which is actually called the entrance cloister, he found some remains of an ancient pagan temple dedicated to the god Apollo. But instead of destroying it, he chose to readjust it and made it to become an oratory, a little church dedicated to Saint Martin, Bishop of Tours in France. Why Saint Martin? Because 1 century before Saint Benedict, he was the first one who started to think about a monastic life divided in small communities. And 1 century after Saint Martin, Saint Benedict put his thought into practice. And for this reason, you can find Saint Martin represented in that mosaic that you can see over there on my left. You can find that big colored mosaic, where on the right you can see Saint Martin. On the left there is the Virgin Mary. Well, in the center you can find the Christ with the Latin inscription Ego Sum Alpha et Omega, which means I am the beginning and the end. The mosaic was made by Francesco Vignanelli, a monk from Monte Cassino in 1967. So it was made after the last reconstruction of the abbey. Probably you already know that the monastery was destroyed several times, in particular 4 times. The first time was destroyed by the Langobards in 577. The second time was destroyed by the Saracens in 883. The third destruction was caused by a devastating earthquake in 1349, and the last destruction was caused by the bombing in 1944. But before the bombing, so during the third destruction, during the earthquake, the church dedicated to St. Martin that was here in the entrance cloister, well, it was completely destroyed, so we cannot see the church anymore, but we still have something that reminds us the little church. If you look closely in the glass, you can find a path of cobblestones, which reminds us exactly the traces of the original foundations of the Church of St. Martin. They were found in the underground during the excavations of the reconstruction of the abbey after the Second World War. So we know that the church was big as the path of cobblestones. It had 3 naves, and we also know that St. Benedict died in that church in 547 in the position represented by this central bronze statue, standing, supported by 2 monks and with the arms turned to God, after he received his last Holy Communion. We know about this specific position of death thanks to Saint Gregory the Great, who described it in the 2nd book of the Dialogues, which is the first biography of St. Benedict. While the statue was made by Attilio Silva in 1952, so it was always made after the last reconstruction, and it was donated to the abbey by the first German chancellor after World War II, Konrad Adenauer. And now I want to show you a different part in comparison to what you can see outside. I want to show you the oldest part of the abbey, which is the only one that survived completely to the bombing. We go this way.